The Khamar-Daban Incident, Siberia's silent tragedy. The unforgettable journey. The Khamar-Daban mountain range sprawls across southern Siberia, a place of unparalleled beauty and mystery. Towering peaks, dense coniferous forests, and the unforgiving climate make it both alluring and treacherous to explorers. In 1993, this range became the backdrop for one of the most harrowing and unexplained tragedies in modern hiking history. In early August of that year, 7 hikers, led by an experienced survivalist named Lyudmila Korovina, set out on an adventure meant to challenge their endurance and enrich their spirits. They were a tight-knit group, sharing a love for nature and a desire to conquer the unknown. Yet, within days, the group would face an unfathomable horror, one that would leave 6 dead and 1 survivor to tell the tale. What exactly happened in the Khamar-Daban mountains? Despite years of speculation, the incident remains shrouded in mystery, its details both chilling and perplexing. The hikers and their dreams. At the heart of this tragic tale are the 7 hikers who embarked on the ill-fated journey. Each had their own reason for joining the trek, but they shared a collective goal: to push their limits and experience the rugged beauty of the Siberian wilderness. Lyudmila Korovina, 41, a seasoned guide with decades of survival training, Lyudmila was respected and admired by her peers. Her reputation as a tough but compassionate leader made her the ideal mentor for the young adventurers. Tatiana Filipenko, 24, a medical student with a love for nature. Tatiana's cheerful demeanor and resourcefulness made her a vital member of the team. Alexander Krisin, 23, an athletic and outgoing individual. Alexander was known for his boundless energy and enthusiasm. Dennis Schwartz, 19, quiet and introspective. Dennis had a natural ability to stay calm under pressure. He was often seen as the group's voice of reason. Viktor Tyabin, 24, a brilliant engineering student with a knack for problem-solving. Viktor was admired for his determination and resilience. Timofey Chernyshev, 15, the youngest in the group. Timofey was eager to prove himself and soaked up every lesson Lyudmila had to offer. Valentina Yudokenko, 17, a bright and inquisitive teenager. Valentina's survival against all odds would later provide the only insight into the tragedy. For most of the group, this was not their first trek. They had experience navigating challenging terrain and were well prepared for the trip, carrying essential supplies, maps, and emergency equipment. The journey started on a bright, optimistic note. The hikers gathered at the base of the Khamar-Daban range, their spirits high and their laughter echoing through the trees. For Lyudmila, this was just another challenge in a long career of guiding expeditions. For the others, it was a chance to prove themselves in the wild and learn from one of the best. Into the wilderness. The first few days of the trek were idyllic. The group followed established trails through dense forests, stopping to admire the breathtaking views of Lake Baikal shimmering in the distance. Birds chirped overhead, and the sound of rushing streams filled the air. The hikers' journals and photographs from this time capture moments of joy and camaraderie, smiling faces, playful banter, and a shared sense of accomplishment as they conquered each leg of the journey. Lyudmila's expertise was evident in every decision she made. She taught the group how to navigate using landmarks and the stars, how to build shelters in case of emergencies, and how to identify edible plants. These lessons, though intended as precautionary, would soon prove vital to Valentina's survival. As they ascended deeper into the mountains, the weather began to change. What had started as cool and pleasant conditions grew colder and wetter. The Khamar-Daban range is notorious for its unpredictable weather, and the group soon found themselves hiking through fog and intermittent rain. Despite the challenges, morale remained high. Lyudmila assured the group that the storm would pass, and they pressed on, eager to reach the next milestone. The storm. By the 5th day, the storm had intensified. Rain poured relentlessly, soaking the hikers to the bone despite their waterproof gear. The winds howled through the valleys, and the temperature plummeted. What had been a manageable trek now became a battle against the elements. Lyudmila decided to set up camp and wait out the storm. The group pitched their tents on a relatively flat area near a small stream, huddling together for warmth. Valentina later recalled that the mood was tense but hopeful. They trusted Lyudmila's judgment and believed they could endure the storm. But the weather wasn't their only adversary. The unfolding horror. On the morning of August 5, 1993, the group awoke to worsening conditions. The rain had turned to sleet, and visibility was poor. As they prepared to break camp, something unimaginable happened. Tatiana Filipenko, who had been cheerful and energetic the previous evening, suddenly collapsed. She clutched her throat, gasping for air, and began convulsing violently. Foam bubbled from her mouth as her body spasmed uncontrollably. Within minutes, she was dead. The group was paralyzed with shock. Ludmila tried to calm the others and assess the situation, but there was no time to process what had just happened. Moments later, Alexander and Dennis began exhibiting the same symptoms. Their bodies contorted in pain as they fell to the ground, convulsing and choking. Ludmila, now visibly distressed, instructed the remaining hikers to stay together and remain calm. But the situation only worsened. Ludmila herself began to falter, collapsing to her knees as blood streamed from her mouth and nose. Her once commanding presence gave way to helplessness as she succumbed to the mysterious ailment. Valentina, Victor, and Timofey were the last to remain standing. Desperation set in as they watched their companions perish in rapid succession. Victor tried to shield Timofey, but within hours, both succumbed to the same fate. Valentina, the sole survivor, fled the scene in terror. A fight for survival. For 3 days, Valentina wandered through the wilderness, cold, hungry, and traumatized. The storm continued to rage, and she had no choice but to rely on the survival skills Ludmila had taught her. She found shelter under overhanging rocks, rationed what little food she had, and used the stream to stay hydrated. When she was finally rescued, she was in a state of severe hypothermia and psychological shock. Her testimony would later provide investigators with their only glimpse into the tragedy, but her account raised more questions than answers. The investigation. The discovery of the hikers' bodies sent shockwaves through the local community. Search and rescue teams described the scene as nightmarish, bodies scattered in various positions, their faces frozen in expressions of agony. Some were curled up as if trying to shield themselves from the cold, while others lay sprawled on the ground. The official cause of death was listed as hypothermia, but investigators couldn't ignore the strange symptoms described by Valentina: convulsions, foaming at the mouth, and bleeding. Toxicology reports found no traces of poison or drugs, and autopsies revealed no signs of external trauma. Theories and speculation. Over the years, countless theories have emerged in an attempt to explain what happened to the Khamar-Daban hikers. 1. Poisoning. Some believe the hikers ingested toxic plants or drank contaminated water, but this theory is undermined by the lack of toxins in their bodies. 2. Chemical weapons. The sudden and violent nature of the deaths has led some to speculate that the group encountered a military-grade chemical agent. However, there is no evidence of such substances in the area. 3. Paranormal activity. Others point to supernatural explanations, citing local legends of cursed lands and malevolent spirits. 4. UFOs. The bizarre symptoms and unexplained circumstances have fueled theories of extraterrestrial involvement. Legacy and unanswered questions. The Khamar-Daban incident remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of the modern era. Decades later, the case continues to captivate and confound investigators, adventurers, and theorists. Valentina Yudokenko, now an adult, rarely speaks of the tragedy. Her survival stands as a testament to human resilience, but it also serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life in the face of nature or something.
On the psychological implications of such messages. Fear, especially when shared by an entire community, can lead to extraordinary actions. The phrase could represent a collective acknowledgement of doom, whatever form that doom might have taken. Hoer Verdi's story has endured, passing from whispers to folklore and into the modern age. Similar mysteries, like the Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia or the disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew, continue to capture our imagination. They remind us of the fragility of life and the limits of our understanding. To this day, no definitive answer exists. Theories abound, but the truth remains elusive. What happened to the villagers of Hoer Verde? Did they leave willingly, or were they forced? Were they victims of human conflict, natural disaster, or something far stranger? In the end, the vanishing of Hoer Verde is more than just an unsolved mystery. It is a testament to the unknown forces, both external and internal, that shape human existence. As we ponder the fate of this lost village, we are left with one question: what do you believe happened?